must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Morning viewers, thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television. It is 6 minutes past 10 o'clock Nairobi time, which is 7 o'clock, 6 minutes past 7 o'clock London time. Good morning viewers. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the new format of our programming. The editor's note comes after a discussion, and discussion has taken place on the morning news and presented the views and seen all the headlines around the world. Our editor's note this morning hinges on 4 points. 1, the letter by the Right Honorable former Prime Minister of Kenya on the Hassola dynasty situation. 2, the question of a BBI as a uniting factor, a redemption strategy, not a political process. 3, the editor's note also touches on a number of things, especially the new formation of Kalonzo, Mudavadi, Moi, and Wetangula. 4, the editor's note will touch on the difficulties faced by President Uhuru Kenyatta to reconcile or not to reconcile. As you can see, read through and listen to the television, the radio stations of Kenya, one thing comes out, and that thing comes out, I'll begin with number 4, that every MP from Tanga group is talking of, let's talk, let's sit down and talk. Right from Duale last night, let's sit down and talk. Let's make it peaceful. As if they did not know that there was need for peace before. As if they did not know that belittling the president and the head of state was a wrong thing. As if they did not know that destroying the party upon which they were elected to go to parliament was a wrong thing. As if they did not know that instigating violence and hate speech could bring this country to another violent conflict. As if they did not know the party regulations in the Political Parties Act, which is very clear that you don't change parties while you are in one party. That has been the call, and I believe the panel has been seeing so many of everybody, even on the social media, people pleading for, let's talk, let's sit down. Why is it so? The Tanga Brigade has been thrown into confusion, total confusion. Anybody observing Kenya politics will agree with me that they are in disarray. They have been driven out of town, if we can use the word of the Texas cowboys, drive them out of town. They have been driven out of town. And therefore, we want to thank ourselves, Punchline Africa TV, for having been part of the people who drove Tanga out of town. And they are beginning to think. For almost 1.5 years, we have been pumping information out, opposing their values. They are now out of the streets, in the streets, nowhere to go, talking of dialogue. Point number 3, I'm coming from 3 going upwards. The question of formation of political alliances. When we are talking of unity, political alliances come when there is always a unified position. How long will these political alliances, the editors notes that the political alliances that you see, which are going to be part and parcel of the Kenyan political body politics, the body politics of Kenya in times to come in the next 17 months, are they formed too early? Where have the others gone? Raila had a very good notion of BBI with Uhuru Kenyatta. If we say we call upon Raila today, we have no right to call upon Raila to withdraw his candidate. After all, democracy is for the competition of pitting ambition against ambition. As Abraham Lincoln said, do you need to force someone to withdraw or to draw or to bring in a candidate? So the coalitions that are being formed are too early, too nonsensical, too prudish, too sardonic, and therefore the editor's note condemns them. 2, it is very clear, point number 2, which I made, which was very, very clear, that a redemption strategy is a healing strategy. When President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga decided to shake hands to form 9 points, they had a value, they had a vision, they had value. There was value added tax to the body politics of Kenya. Value added tax, which is commonly called VAT, was added to the body politics of Kenya. Kibaki added value added tax. You cannot try to bring new things without a value added tax. What is the value added tax in the BBI? That it has opened a lot of things for Kenyans which they didn't see in their constitution. Constitutions around the world are not static, they are dynamic. There is nothing wrong with amending the constitution to include things that were left out, which matter to the nationals of any nation. Any scholar on constitutionalism, therefore, will agree with me that constitutionalism is the center of dynamism. It moves, it moves, it moves, it doesn't stop. Point number 1, which was our first point, the editor's note. In the editorial, we note the letter written by His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister of Kenya, purported to be written to the people of Kenya, and purported to be written for the sake of making sure that unity exists. The former Prime Minister wrote a good piece. From the beginning up to the end, towards the end, somebody inserted something that is not the former Prime Minister's language. And I want you to be very serious and analyze the letter. From the beginning, Raila Amolo Odinga told you what class struggle would be, what could come out of class struggle of Hitler, what Hitler did, how Hitler started naming people, how Hitler started telling people about big lips, big eyes, big ears, big body, big body shape, body brain, body hair. That's how Hitler started. The class struggle in Germany. Raila, I want you to read the panel when you go back to your study rooms. Read that letter. Until the last paragraph inserted by Orengo. Yes, we are experts. I am an expert. On Raila, I am an expert on this side. I am. of you can, I am an expert on Raila. That is not Raila's language. Raila's language stops where to say freedom, this, that. That is that guy from Sierra Code who has been eyeing to destroy Raila's legacy. And that is Orengo. If we are to ambiane ukweli, let Kenyans hear the truth. Orengo is an NGO, works as an NGO within the ODM. He has 2 legs. And be careful, if this doesn't happen tomorrow, you will tell me I was wrong. Kenyans, watch out. Raila's letter was to condemn. From the beginning, Raila wanted to condemn fully the class struggles. And if I'm wrong, Professor knows you are very senior, you interpret the body language, the writing, you mark people's marks, examination papers, sir. I know Raila from 1982. I've known him. I know how he writes. Raila, the last paragraph is put in Raila's. It was inserted in by none other than James Agre Orengo. Why do I say so? In the daytime, during the session in the Senate, Orengo spoke of the same thing. On the floor, play your tapes. Play your tapes. Play. That's what Orengo said in the morning. Raila had decided to tell off the people of the Hustler Nation. The Hustler, those misusing the word hustler, to say this is going to bring a conflict. Raila would be the last person after 2007. And Ruto would be the last person after 2007. And that's why you see, have you seen what Ruto has answered Raila? Have you seen? Now let me come to that as editor's note. Look at what Ruto has answered Raila. He has told him, thank you very much, but we have been there before. In 2007, you left us on our own. Meaning, he's trying to tell Raila that you are trying to jump and come to us. That just as how 2007, 2008, we remained on our own and we are taken to the ISIS. That is the summary of Mr. Ruto's statement. If you have the knowledge of marking exams, it was Raila's intention to condemn Nazism. Nazism was supposed to be condemned. Nazism is one of the Nazis killed people. They started naming people big hair, big Somali, big seat, big lips, big Meru, oh big Nyamira man. You are stupid. Your brains work faster than the Germans. Yeah, have you seen that? That was the cause. Oh, you people from Luo, you eat fish. And another one, oh, you eat meat. Oh, you people from Mount Karanja, you spend a lot of time drinking liquor. These are some of the things the hustler narrative is creating. And the hustler narrative, anybody with common sense cannot, and I repeat, cannot encourage a hustler narrative. And anybody with common sense cannot stop Parliament from discussing a national security matter where a car of a deputy governor for having knocked a pedestrian who was maybe in a wrong side was banned. Okay, if Mayangi, whoever it is, Mr. Mayagi, or whatever you, Mr. Professor can pronounce it better. I don't want to create a hustler narrative here. Because if I pronounce the name badly, I will be yes. What is his real name?
Joash Mahangi.
Okay, Joash Mahangi. If Joash Mahangi had been killed, what would the letter of Raila mean? What would it mean? I bring it back to you, the panel. And that's how Punchline Africa TV is going to analyze things. After you have discussion, those are the hard facts. You like them, you hate them, go ask Angel Gabriel. We have said it. We are not going to keep quiet. Orengo is out to disrupt the handshake. He has ever tried to disrupt Raila Odinga before. Remember, he has an ambition. And remember, he's safeguarded by somebody who is on the opposite side of Katiba. Remember, who is opposing Katiba? Katiba what? Who is proposing Katiba? Orengo's wife. From Meru. Apparently. I'm not condemning Meru, man. So, please, don't say that. She is opposing the husband, and the husband cannot operate on his role. Therefore, I know them. I know Madame Orengo. She never wanted Ruto to come out of jail. She never wanted Uhuru to come out of jail. I don't want to speak more than that. I'm speaking from a point of an editor's memo. The editor's memo therefore concludes the narrative, the Hustler versus Dynasty narrative, will plunge this country into a very big inferno. Can I repeat? The Hustler Dynasty narrative will plunge Kenya into a big inferno. It will create a conflict. It will subject Kenyans to class struggle, class wars. The poor will rise up from the slums of Muthaiga. Rise up, walk in from the slums of Mathare, walk up towards Muthaiga to kill those who have. Yet those some people in Muthaiga worked hard to get what they have. We shall be creating a class struggle of those eyed. Anybody who has a car is eyed to have been a stolen car. We are creating a situation like that of Mozambique. When Mozambique got independence, every person in Mozambique was calling each other comrade. And for you younger people who might not have studied this political science at that time, everybody in Mozambique called each other comrade, comrade, comrade. Doctors were called comrade. And judges were called comrade. Even the president was called comrade. Until Samora Machel said, let's be honest. You can't be calling everybody comrade. The state becomes a state of despondency. That ends my editor's memo. If my people have been, that I promised 20 minutes. And I've done it exactly 20 minutes. Yes.
Congratulations.
20 minutes.
Dr.
I found 5 on top, 20 minutes. That's my take. That's our take for today. It is up to the editorial video to pick from this, put out our editorial of the day. And I would like anybody, any of you on this panel, Miriam, Musa, Kirimi, Professor, and Javan, to be part of the editor's memo.
Thank you.
To lead us in the editor's memo. Let's change the narrative. Editor's memo. so that your voice is heard, your clip is taken. What do you feel from the bottom of your heart after reading, for example, Miriam, after going through all these papers? What do you have in your heart? Something is not going to work well. That is the conclusion I got, Miriam. That something is not working well. Somewhere, and Raila's letter was so good, so interesting. But the insertion of the last word, which now overrides the parliament duty, you can't direct the parliament on what to do, not to do. Someone just came in and said, Wekai, and someone who is not steady, he doesn't know whether he is with, there is the notion that on several occasions, Mr. Orengo, the senator of Siaya, has said Uhuru has switched off his phones. You know that. You know we have had that history. He said Uhuru is not giving us audience. They are the group that is pushing Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga might not even want to be, he has not told anybody he wants to be a president yet.
Yeah, sure.
That's why the team of Kalonzo are also offside. Very big offside. To call on Raila, he has not told you he wants to be the president. We don't know what they discuss between Uhuru and Raila. Maybe they discuss and say, when we get a nice blue-eyed boy, we can say now, hello, there you are. Or Raila has not. Raila is mobilizing people to accept an amendment. And it is not a draft amendment. I've seen so many people talking of a draft amendment. No. Constitutional law, Musa Abid Haji and others, it is an amendment bill. It's no longer a draft amendment. It's not a draft amendment bill. Are we clear here?
Sure.
It's an amendment bill. It's not a draft. It is already delivered. Isn't it the same, Mr. Karanja?
It is the same. Now it's a bill.
It's a bill.
Bill 2020.
Yes. It's an amendment 2020. So when you are writing on your social media, don't write draft amendment. No. So there, well, thank you very much, Miriam. I promise I finished in 20 minutes exactly. And that's what I will be doing. And that's what I expect most all of you. Anybody, don't fear. Tell us in advance, you will do the editor's memo. And that's it. Because you have already gathered the information. And that's what I have done this morning. Back to you, Miriam, in Nairobi. Thank you very much. God bless you. I am here to listen to the comments. Briefly, we finish by within 10 minutes or 15. Don't take too much of time. We have to prepare for the next show where the panelists can do whatever they want in that 1 hour. Thank you.
All right. I don't know if there's anybody who has something to say. I think, Professor, you did not get an opportunity to be on the show in the morning, so maybe you could just add to what a doctor has said.
Yes, Miriam.
Go ahead, Musa.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. And I would like to make this clear, and I even repeated it, yesterday and even in today's morning show, in that the situation is very tense. And, until you make it normal for people to understand, until you make it real, you push that narrative from being abstract to that real narrative, then Miriam, we are going nowhere. And just to finish it, I would like to plead, if indeed he can hear an historian, if indeed he can even read political scientists' minds, then William Ruto should know this. If indeed he is pushing for this class narrative, he should be the very embodiment of the ideology he is pushing for. As simple as that. When Mwalimu Nyerere was pushing for socialism, Mwalimu Nyerere was the embodiment of the socialism. Mwalimu Nyerere, even the kind of the house he was built for by the staff and the government staff was only 3-bedroom house. Miriam, you told me yesterday, the army even forced to build that house for him. Be the embodiment of whatever you want to carry for. Barack Obama was pushing for diversity, was pushing that every color, regardless of religion, creed, or ideology, matters. And that is the reason why Barack Obama became the embodiment of diversity in United States of America's politics. So if indeed William Ruto is for class politics, if indeed, because this class politics is not for the many, it's for the few. And even I will agree with Dr. Matsanga, Daktari, even I will say, at some extent, Nazism or fascism by Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler is better than this class narrative. Nazism was built on, the sheer idea of the Great Depression came, people had no jobs. Secondly, by the fact that Jews were controlling banking and insurance industry and they had a lot of economic power in Germany. Then Hitler got irritated by them and he started pushing for that. At least you could see, even if he is mad, Hitler has 1, 2, 3 ideas. But look at William Ruto, you could only see wheelbarrow. You cannot see any ideological symbolism in this hustler narrative. And I wonder even, what kind of political witch hunt this guy, as Trump called it, is trying to purge for, because I'm not understanding. If today I can go back to Benito Mussolini will give you one kettle. He will tell you to milk the kettle, to milk the cow. He takes the milk, he takes the cow, and he kills you. That is fascism. But I don't understand. What is this hustler narrative? When I see a helicopter, it is more of capitalism. When I see an insult by Millicent Omanga, it's more of fascism. When I see social media rants every time and then his hustler narrative, mtu wa watu, drinking tea, I see more of modern capitalism. It's a confusion. So I believe William Ruto should come clear. He should stop lying to us in the name of class narrative. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you so much, Professor. I guess Professor is not there. I think for the interest of time, we just end it here. And then, Douglas, do you have something you want to add to that? All right. So we'll see you here at 11 with another show. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.